All right, we're live. Hey, everybody. It's Friday. I'm just hanging out. I didn't have a video to publish today. I didn't feel like hustling hard to make one happen. So I thought it would be fun to do a live video because I miss everybody. I miss hanging out with everyone. Even if no one joins on, I'm happy to hang out and chat and answer questions. If anyone wants to do an Ask Me Anything, anything like that. Oh, man, yeah. Just make an effort to keep your shirts on, says Justin V. That was a while ago. Man, how long ago was it that we all took our shirts off in a live video? Robert is here. Hey, Robert. Mark is here. Hey, Mark. Milo Beats is here. Hey, Milo. Jason Welch is here. Hey, Jason. Raw is here. Hey, Raw. Matt is here. You guys have all been hanging out. Eric is here. Hey, Eric. You guys have all been hanging out in the chat waiting for this to start, haven't you? Adam Miller's here. Hey, Adam. I'm not going to list everyone's names forever. Travis Taylor asks, best pickups on a budget guitar. Oh, man, I think it really depends on what you consider budget, but that Harley Benton Fusion back there has been flat out one of my favorite budget guitars, in air quotes. I know it's a little bit more expensive than most, kind of affordable Strats budget type guitars. I think coming in at like $350, something like that. And then you have to consider shipping from Thomann and whatnot. Oh, Tobias says, hi from Germany. How's it in Germany right now? Man, I went this last year, but I still I miss Germany all the time. I really want to take my family over to Germany some point. Maybe I can get Thomann to pay for it, or Henning or something like that. Turn them all into a video crew and bring them along with me. Oh man, people are jumping in quick. Okay, I'm gonna try to stay on top of the comments. They're coming in quick. Orion Bailey asks, is roasted maple everything is purported to be? I don't know everything that is purported to be, but I will say that every baked maple neck I've played, I've really enjoyed the feel of it. I don't mean like the feel with the tips of my fingers. Like, it resonates in this kind of like really sharp and responsive sort of way that you don't always get. Okay. And I like the look of baked maple as well. I think it's really handsome. I knew I'd be getting this question. Where did it go from? Aha, here it is. Sean McCartney asks, where are all your guitars? I used to have all my guitars hanging behind me on string swing racks. And I still have string swings, but they're the single little hangers. I actually prepared a photo to show you where all my guitars are, and it's what I'm looking at right now across the room from me. There it is. This is my view now. I used to look over there and see a workbench and a bunch of like cabinets and a bunch of very like garage things, and I moved that all to the back side of the wall that's to the left of me here. I painted that wall over there. I hung all the long hangers over there, and I'm feeling really good about it. I was getting really tired of the set looking like a guitar shop and looking more and more like a guitar shop, because this isn't a guitar shop. I'm not a guitar shop at all. I'm a guy in a garage. I'm a hobbyist who happens to have way too much stuff around. So I wanted to get more specific with what was being displayed behind me. I want to bring some decorations in behind me and have a higher personality set, but still have guitars and amps and pedals behind me, obviously. But maybe have them on rotation, have something a little bit more stylized. I don't know. I'm playing around with it. I can always put it back if I want to, but also, I was running out of room. I was running out of room with all the guitars hanging up behind me. You can also see like some of my surfboards hanging up on the wall next to that, and it starts to get back into garage stuff. You can see the top rail where the garage door connects. and the camera and the big light over there to the right. That's what I shoot the majority of the videos on. Oh man. Higher personality set. What is that? YouTuber marketing speak? I don't know. That's just what I'm saying. Honestly, like, I don't know how I'm ever gonna get it done the way it feels in my head, but my fantasy is to have almost a Pee-wee's Playhouse thing going on behind me. I want to have a fun, very different vibe compared to most other YouTube channels that are doing guitar stuff. So I don't know if I'll ever get around to doing stuff in that direction. I will do it, but I don't know. Sometimes it's daunting to think about decorating. I really just need to like find like a local, college kid, that's studying interior design and have them come over and have fun, and then swap it out once a season or something like that. All right. What other questions are here? Oh man, I don't know. Chris Ian asks, is there an alternative to the Harley Benton Fusion, steel frets and all? I don't know. Like, I haven't seen a budget guitar that hits all the specs and plays the same as the Fusion. I mean, I certainly haven't played one. The stainless steel frets thing, I think, is a fun detail. I haven't yet been convinced that stainless steel frets are something that I need to find as preferable over other frets. So I don't know. I honestly wouldn't worry too much about finding a budget guitar with steel frets. Because honestly, when you get into the budget range, then there's big questions about what kind of steel is being used anyways and how it was done and stuff like that. I covered those Erts and, one of the Erts, and there's big questions going around like, are these actually stainless steel frets? People haven't been able to fully figure it out. The Ert website at one point claimed that they were silver nickel, and then they changed the site to say they were stainless steel. So I don't know. I'll just say that the Harley Benton Fusion, it plays like a dream. It feels exactly like what it's visually trying to copy. It's trying to do this very Shure meets Ibanez AZ kind of modern take on a Super Strat sort of thing. Oh my gosh. Andrew Smith asks, how overwhelmed have you become after establishing a public mailbox? We haven't been promoting it for a while because we want to catch up on shipping out all those Azor reverbs. But yeah, I go at least once a week, and there's always about 5 or 6 letters in there. There was a lot of stuff coming in late for the Azor thing from people who are international. I want to do a video or a couple of videos, maybe getting close to the holidays when I'm hanging out late at night and stuff, where me and my wife sit and like just read mail, like do a live video just reading mail, because we went through a bunch of the letters that we've already shipped people these Azor reverbs out to, and some of them are just, like they tug on your heartstrings, and it's just it's so heartwarming to get physical mail from people. And they're sending little notes and pictures and drawings and stuff like that. And they're telling you personal things and stuff. Well, not personal things, but like it makes the audience feel real in a way that, I haven't fully experienced before doing this. Oh man. Sam Skinner asks, where can I find a Kuvave Fuzz original? I don't know. I've been hearing, I haven't looked into it, but people are saying that they're being published under a new brand name now. I haven't had any contact with Kuvave, the brand, in probably a year or something like that. So I have no idea what's going on over there. It would be a bummer if you can't find the originals. There was someone on our Facebook group who was modding the non-Velcro, non-gating version of the Kuvave Fuzz to have an extra knob that allows you to control the gate on it. I need to try to do that mod on my own to one of the Kuvaves that I have. Ed Rosen asks, are you getting stoned today? No, I'm not getting stoned today. During the day, I use my edibles as a sleep aid, and I usually take them right about when my kids go to bed. So No, it's the middle of the day. I'm not doing that. I still want to be somewhat functional for most of the day. And I honestly, I've dialed in my dose where the goal is never really getting stoned anyways. It's, just taking the edge off of my nerves a bit allows me to fall asleep. Thoughts on carbon fiber frets? Wow. Carbon fiber frets. I have not encountered those in person. I haven't owned anything made out of carbon fiber that I can think of. I know it's supposed to be super duper strong, but is it so resistant to abrasion that it could stand up as a fret without, in my mind, I'm imagining a fiberglass situation where eventually you have sharp shards of some sort of material poking out after you've, been doing your irresponsible boomer bends, grinding at those frets on the 14th fret or something like that. Is that a thing? Carbon fiber frets. I'm going to have to look into that. All right. What else do we have here? Oh, man. What has been your least favorite guitar mod project? I'm halfway through a Vester Strat mod. That's been grueling. Man, least favorite. It's hard to say because I always enjoy the process to a certain extent, but then there's two types of guitars that I mod. There's the guitar that I'm modding because I love it. And I'm like, oh man, I want to do this thing so that I can love it even more. And usually that turns out pretty great. And then there's the type of mod where it's like, I don't like this guitar. Let's see if I can make it so that I like it. And the results on that can be kind of mixed because I'm not always modding the thing that is keeping me from liking the guitar in its original condition. I guess when I did that Flying V, the Fender Flying V, which isn't back here, it's up in my office. I need to bring that back down because it's a looker. I enjoyed a lot of the process of that, but I had no idea what I was doing with the sparkle coat on it, with the clear coat. And I put way too much clear on it, and it took literally like a year hanging in my garage to harden up enough for me to put the guitar back together, because I just like sprayed this thick plastic goopy shell all over it, and then I had to wait for it to harden up so I could just sand and polish the dang thing. So I think the least favorite part of mod projects is my own sloppiness and like misunderstanding as far as what I actually need to do to like refinish a guitar. Okay, I haven't even read this, but I'm going to read it now. Narbonne Guitars asks, how does your wife think about what you do? And does she play any instrument? My wife doesn't currently play an instrument, but she does have a musical background. She played violin when she was in high school, and then she did choir when she was in college, and she sings at our church from time to time and stuff like that. She has, musical appreciation. She's also a creative. She's an artist. She does graphic design and illustration. She's, I do that too, but she's more talented than I am at being a designer and an illustrator. So she's been incredibly supportive of all of this. I mean, there's been, portions of, the history of me running this channel and doing the podcast with Steve and stuff where, we both have the question of like, hey, we're spending a lot of time on this. Is it worth it? Is there going to be enough financial return on this time investment to make it worth it? So we've had those questions, as a team, as a married partnership. And I've probably been more worried about that stuff than she has, but she's been incredibly supportive of all this. Like anytime a guitar shows up, she's like, oh, honey, you got a guitar. She's never like, oh, great, another guitar. The thing that she gets upset about is when I come back from NAMM or, a trade show or something like that, and I've got 5 more t-shirts to add to the pile. And she's like, we don't have room for all these shirts. Where are we going to put all these shirts? So she really doesn't care about the guitars and the gear coming in. But yeah, the constant stream of shirts and merch is an issue. All right, scroll back down through these questions. Yeah, I think people were saying the Kuvave fuzzes became shark fin or shark chili. Yeah, shark chili. I have no idea what's going on over there. All right. What else have we got going on here? Where in time is Harley Benton? Where in the world is Harley Benton? Harley Benton has become maybe the love interest of Carmen Sandiego. Oh, whoa. That's a wild question. Tom Lawson asked, do you see Catgut coming back in style for guitar strings? Man, I don't know. I could see there being a set group of people and a clique of people, a niche of people that embrace that, or probably have already embraced that and are all about it. And I can imagine a large group of people who are vehemently opposed to that sort of thing. I mean, when they were doing catgut strings, the cat wasn't the beloved pet that it's become. Maybe they could find a different animal, an animal that we eat, maybe, and they can be like, hey, instead of sending, this to the sausage factory, we made some strings out of it. And I think the general public would be more enthusiastic about that, or more accepting of that. Craig Lee asks, booze. I do have some whiskey over here, left over from the podcast last night. If I get super chats, I might do my thing where I take a sip here or there. I'm not interested in wrecking the rest of my day. Oh my gosh. Mark, are you the one that has been doing the Kuvave mods? I know you've been posting about it on the Facebook group. Because I keep seeing someone post about those, and I can never remember who's doing it. I wouldn't be surprised if you're the one doing it. But I got a lot of emails the last time I did a video, must have been like 9 months ago, of people suggesting how to modify it. And it sounds like people figured it out. All right. What other questions do we have here? Hero Guap asked, what happened? Ryan got robbed. I'll show this picture a couple times as people ask, because everyone's been asking about this. I should probably make a standalone video about it. But I cleared out most of the guitars behind me, and I changed the wall that I look at. It's across from me here in the garage, and I'm hanging most of the guitars over there. I'm going to be more specific about what I'm hanging behind me, and I'm going to be fancying up the set behind me to be visually interesting in a few other ways. I don't want to just have, lines and piles of gear stacking up behind me all the time. I want to go a little bit cleaner. Oh yeah, Ronnie Hill asks, how are you getting on with the Supersonic since all the upgrades? I've just ordered one of the wiring harnesses for mine. That's awesome. I'm assuming you got it from Gun Street. I love that guitar now. That's a mod project that turned out really great. The tuning stability issues with that guitar out of the gate were really a huge bummer. And figuring out that releasing the strings from the string trees remedies that has been a game changer for that guitar. I can dive bomb it now. I can get wiggly and weird with it. It's a bunch of fun. I even am kind of all right with the pickups now, even though the pickups are way hotter than what I usually go for. I've been having a great time playing with it. The kill switch works great with those hot pickups. You hit a drive and, just have fun with that kill switch. And I love the look of it. I love that I've got the only, Supersonic with that look, So, I mean, people don't steal my look unless you really want to. That would be cool too, I guess. Though, I want everyone who's modding their Supersonics to, make posts on Instagram or Facebook or whatever and tag me in them. I want to see these things. All right, just got to load more comments. It's going a little slow on me. How's the quality of the video? Am I coming in clear? I plugged in. Oh, I didn't plug in. I ran the cable to plug into the Wi-Fi, and I to plug into the router, and I didn't even use it. Maybe I should do that really quick. I know this is exciting stuff. Totally riveting moment right here. All right, fingers crossed. When I plug this in, will it disconnect me from the internet, or will it make my internet faster? Am I still here? I think I'm still here. All right, here's another question. Have you considered a Fender Bass 6? I know that you did one on the tour, but I think it would be cool for in your garage. I've played Bass 6s a couple times in stores, and they're fun. But I don't know. There's something about it where it's too close to a bass. I know some people set them up as baritones, but I think they're too bassy for me to be fully interested in a Bass 6. It's worse now. The video is worse now. Maybe I should go back to the Wi-Fi then. All right, I'll pull the plug. We'll just do Wi-Fi. Let me know if that gets better. Jeez. You try to make things better and then it gets worse. All right, you guys keep me updated on the quality of the video. People are saying Vaseline lens, worse. Yeah, it looks like butt, terrible, blurry. Still saying 720p, but it looks like 144. I shouldn't have changed anything. No one was complaining, and I messed with stuff. All right. This is a good question from Mark. How annoyed are you that YouTube no longer displays the thumb down count? Oh, I can see it on my side. I am going to miss it. I think it's fun for people to see the thumbs down. I think it gives people with a negative outlook on my videos a sense of power that they've done something, which I want to encourage. Because in reality, YouTube counts every interaction as a positive analytics. So if people, make a video seem controversial by having this like 50-50 split of thumbs up and thumbs down, they think like, oh, look at how bad this video is doing for you. No, that's a good sign for me. That's good analytics when I get a lot of thumbs down on a video, because you've got people fighting each other over the thumbs up or down. So I'm a little bit bummed in that direction, but in the long term, who cares? Who cares? It doesn't, the thumbs up and thumbs down doesn't really even mean anything. Like, the click is what I care about. Click and watch. And that's what I care about. Look who's here. It's Robert. Hey, Robert.
Hey, how you doing? I figured I better jump on here before everybody else does.
I'm surprised it took, someone so long to jump on here.
Yeah, I'm still working with a little bit of my mom's stuff, where she's still rehabilitating. I was cleaning up her room and listening more for in the background. So now I'm taking a break. So
nice.
So how are things?
Yeah, we were supposed to maybe have an extra special guest that no one's ever seen before jump in, and I haven't seen him jump on yet. So we'll see if that actually happens.
I was trying to go back and look at some of the past comments on that video, but I can't seem to find out which one you guys are particularly talking about.
Oh, we'll figure that out if the person actually joins. I don't want to talk about it if the person doesn't show up. Robert is in our our inner circle group as a Patreon, so he knows some secret things that are going on. The secret.
Plus we both live in the San Diego area, so we really
right. Oh yeah, Robert is got all the guitars now. He's got the line of guitars behind him. I still have guitars, guys. They're just across the room from me. There's some behind me too. I mean, there's still guitars here. Look.
Well, with that new setup there, it looks like you said, you moved the bench and everything like that. I don't know where we're going to do our project.
No, the table's still here. We'll do it.
Okay. Okay, we do the table, huh?
I've actually been thinking with this space over here. I was telling Steve last night, like we could bring in a guest, like Robert. You could come over when we do the podcast, and we set you up over there and throw a camera on you, and have like a third person in the room, like playing producer or something.
just as long as you don't ask me to play guitar. Just because they're hanging on the wall doesn't mean I don't know how to play very well.
Exactly. No, I feel the same way. I'm still shocked that I play guitar in video. Honestly, everyone thinks that way about how they play. Like when I go to the YouTuber events, like everyone's like, "Oh, I'm the worst guitarist here," like, and it's never true. We're all fine. We're all totally fine. We all just love to trash on ourselves.
I'm older now, so I get to sit in the back porch, look at my palm trees, the grass out in the area, and I just sit there in a rocking chair, just kind of going back and forth. So it's like, okay, do I know any songs particularly? No, but I do a lot of noodling.
I mean, that's all I do is I just sit and noodle. Like it's so rare that I actually like play a song. Even when I'm playing at church with a band, I'm not really playing a song. I'm noodling over a song. If anyone else wants to join, I'm dropping the link in the comment section. It's also in the description of the video if you're on YouTube right now.
We always have more fun when people join in.
Oh yeah. I mean,
except for the people that take their clothes off.
Well, you don't want to do shirts versus skins?
No, I think we had enough that one night. that was a little wild.
Yeah. I never got around to re-editing and republishing that video where someone showed us their wiener.
That was a long you mean the little circle with the fuzz?
Yeah.
The little fogged out area.
Yeah. Craig Encinitas, do you live in Encinitas? As a beginner, all I can do is noodle. Nice to know that if I get better. I read it with the wrong inflection. Noodling is fun. Like one of my favorite things to do is just sit with one of those, headphone plug things and jam to music videos on YouTube and stuff. And it's like, I play through the song like twice. I don't actually learn it, but I have fun jamming over it. And then I move over to, the next song that I want to listen to,
Oh yeah. The one that when you did the Valco 5, that opening that you did, and then you also put it on Instagram too. Yeah. I have been getting so close to the screen. The screen don't get only so bigger. To say, where are your fingers being placed for that? And I'm thinking, man, I have over and over and over and played that little intro was fabulous. Absolutely nice. Fabulous. And like you said, it's maybe not a song, but it's a noodling thing that just it hits you.
Yeah.
Build upon it. I mean, I'm still trying to learn how to use my loopers, and I bought the pedal just because you demoed it. And
it's a fun pedal. I've got it on the wall.
Oh, the best part I like about it is because the 3-in-1. Because when you did that one, I had the rumble seat. And the rumble seat, because you demoed that one as well, I really liked that because it was kind of like a 3-in-1 type thing. But you could just set it up on a TV tray or something like that, and you can play with it and set it in. And then next thing you know, that you showed that one, it's like, oh, shoot, that just blew that out of the water.
Yeah, it covers all the sounds. We got someone else waiting to join, JD. Welcome, JD. I like
Hello, JD. Oh, yeah. You've been on before, I think. I've seen another guy that had a mustache like that here. Maybe it was about 6-8 months ago or so, but
we all get confused for Dudley Do Right.
I've been noticing almost everybody that joins the channel has always got some kind of beard going on, though.
It's a club, every now and then I'll put a little wax in this, but I'm not. Actually, I could do a little bit of that if I really wanted to try, but I don't like to keep up on it.
I said you got it really going on there for now. You said you weren't going to be cutting until what, springtime? You said
Yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna let the beard go. I'm going all natural. I trimmed it a little bit like a month ago just because it had some wild hairs, but I'm just gonna let it do its natural thing until springtime. Is the plan, anyways. We'll see how far I get.
I do notice that it's darker here than it is up here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But at least you have it. I don't have it.
This is how I know it's getting long, is I can tuck it over my face and it's like,
That's good for going up in the mountains in the snow.
yeah,
right?
yeah. when I met my wife, I actually had a beard like down to here. When I met Lauren, it was all the way down here. So she's down with it. she
must have been. She did say yes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it took my wife about 5 years to talk me into this. That was
And to talk you into the mustache or doing the wax? Just a mustache in general.
Yeah. Yeah, it was all her idea. I mean, I kept it trimmed. I kept the mustache, but I had it trimmed, and it took her a long time to talk me into letting the mustache grow. So
yeah,
I don't know if that affects my guitar playing or not, but
I've noticed it's really common that wives are pro facial hair. They're like, please have facial hair, and it's maybe it's because there's something about our faces they don't like.
I think it's because of I don't have any hair on top. It's all bald, and this just gives a little bit of contrast, you might say.
Right.
Well,
you can have it somewhere.
I think yeah. I think it happens because then she has an excuse not to shave her legs.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how everyone else feels about it. I honestly don't care if my wife doesn't shave her legs. Like,
it doesn't bother me none either.
Her legs are still there.
Yeah.
And if you go one direction, it's fine. It's just the opposite.
Yeah.
Well, you let it grow long enough, and it just gets soft. It's not anymore.
It's kind of like microfleece.
All right. Guys, just stop ignoring the comments. Okay, I'm so sorry. I hate to say it, guys, but I might have to, with all the comments rolling in, we might have to do Phil McKnight rules, and I'll have to give preference to super chats and stuff like that. If you really, really want to ask me something like that's what it might have to come down to. I'm looking through to see if there's any really important questions. Okay, this is an important question from Vance. Anyone not get their pedal from the giveaway after seeing their name on the screen? We are shipping out those Azor reverbs in batches because it takes a lot of work to ship. Like Steve has been shipping about 50 at a time, I think, and there were nearly 300 of them. So you can do the math. It's going to take a while to get them all out. It also costs us about $300 each time Steve takes 50 pedals home with them. So yeah, it's not
and Patreon money only comes in once per month, right?
Right. No, we've got budget. Like it's been taken care of. Like we're not worried about the money at this point, but it is a task that we are taking serious, and we are getting them out the door. If your name showed up on screen, it will get in the mail. We miraculously have not had any returned to us yet because of like a bad address or shipping misunderstanding or something like that. As far as we're aware, every single one that we've shipped out has arrived at its destination. Oh, Steve just jumped in. We've shipped about 120 of 268 packages. So we're getting really close to halfway. That's practically halfway.
That's pretty good for somebody who's not being paid to do this.
Well, a little peek behind the curtain. Grant Wilson from Big Gear, he sent us a bunch of money for shipping costs, and what we decided to do is to put that into Steve's bank account because he's spending all this time, and his wife is helping as well, spending all this time doing all the labeling and address retrieval and all of the busy work of shipping those out. So we decided that money would be his compensation for the time spent doing it. And then we had enough donations from various organizations to, cover the costs of shipping the rest. And, everyone who joined the Patreon and everything like that. We did the math roughly, and it's all accounted for. So we're not begging for money at this point.
Every little bit helps, though, doesn't it?
It's one of these things where it's like we got offered, nearly 300 pedals for free, but then what we've chosen to do with them costs about $2,000 total for us to give them away. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a really fun stunt thing to do. It's a memorable thing to do. Like everyone really rallied around it and loved it. I still can't believe the response, all the mail that we got, and I feel so bad for everyone that's not going to get one. But we're going to try to take care of everyone. We're going to try to read everyone's mail. But it is daunting. It is a daunting task.
Well, I imagine, and I bought an Azor Reverb based on your review when you originally did it, like a year and a half or 2 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's been on my, I do. I put it on my board and I use it at my gigs. So
nice.
It's not quite surfy, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. I remember saying that it was pretty close, like nearly identical to the sound of the Moogig Reverb, which is the one that ended up on the Affordaboard. And the only reason the Moogig ended up on the Affordaboard is because I think it's prettier looking versus the brown Azor. Oh my gosh. Zombie just said that we look like the Mythbusters. All right, let's see if there's any other comments here.
So there was a question that I saw is how important is neck radius? Somebody prefers a 12-inch. What do you prefer?
There it is. Craig Encinitas asked, how important, you already said you prefer 12-inch. To some people, it's incredibly important. I think if you're a shredder and you like playing really fast, like those people tend to get into the 14 and 18-inch radiuses and stuff like that, because it's kind of like approaching classical guitar feel where it's just really super flat and fast and efficient for fast, fretting on it and whatnot. I'm kind of fine with just your normal kind of range. So like 7.5 is really kind of like a vintage round Fender radius. Kind of in between that and 12, I'm totally fine. Like I don't really think about it too hard. The people who say that the rounder radiuses, they'll buzz out when you do big bends. I haven't encountered that personally. So maybe it's just the way I keep my action set up. And I think maybe the people who are thinking that way are, thinking in terms of really fast, flat radius shredder guitars where you can bend infinitely. You can bend the high E all the way up to the low E if you want to, and you're not going to buzz out. But it doesn't really affect my playing. I do notice when a fretboard radius is pretty flat because it does feel faster and more high performance to me.
I know. I actually just learned about what radius was and how they measured it. Watched another YouTube video and stuff. So now I finally understand, the difference between 7 and 7.5, 9.5, 12, and so forth. Now I've got the gauges. I just never knew how they figured out what the gauge degree was. I saw some video of like film of the Fender factory from back in the 60s or something like that years ago, and they showed them setting the radius like sanding on the radius on the fretboards. And what they would do is they would put the neck, they would screw it to this arm that was on this rotating thing, and they would just rotate it up and down. You can't see my hands. Rotate it up and down against a belt sander, and that would set the radius. And the radius is literally the length of that arm from that central position. So it really is a radius. And then also, there's compound radiuses now, which is, done with fancy tooling and whatnot, where you have a higher radius, I think, up at the nut, and then it gets really flat closer to the body of the guitar. I think that's the way it works. And that allows you to do those big bends higher up, but still have, kind of a comfortable round feel at the nut. All right, let's see if there's any other good questions in here. I know. For the Bush commercial. I like that.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, Mark.
Hero asks, Question for you all: best headphones you have for listening to music? I really like these things. These are Sennheiser HD300 Pros. I got these because they were being used at a few NAMM booths. I was like, man, I can really hear what I'm playing through these, and it sounds great, and they're really comfortable. I was looking for headphones that would be long time comfortable. That's good. What is that? Something got really loud all of a sudden.
I have no idea.
I didn't hear any changes.
So anyways, if you didn't hear anything, it might be you.
I heard something.
It sounded like a garbage truck was driving by and was also joining.
But now it's quiet.
Yeah. Now it's gone. It's so weird. So yeah, I don't know.
If I show a brand name, does that demonetize you?
No. Go for it.
Okay, so that's the Audio Technical. That's what I've been using on my amps, and I got a couple of sets of them, so because I got to do everything on headphones over at home unless everybody is out for some reason or another.
Yeah. Are they pretty comfortable?
They're great. I've always liked the over the ears instead of, there's sometimes I will actually use earbuds hooked to something, especially like the micro, the Fender micro amp.
Yeah, exactly.
You use those, but then I actually tried that in the car as well, like how you did in the aux. That didn't sound too bad.
Yeah, it's fun. Like you run a cable from this to the aux input in your car stereo, and you can play guitar through your car stereo, which is fun.
When my mom was having her surgery at an Encinitas, I was sitting in the car with that guitar is going out the window. 15 hours I was there.
Oh, wow.
And so anybody walking in the parking lot, because we were all, anybody having surgeries, we were all in the parking lot because they wouldn't allow us in the hospital during the COVID stuff. So what else are you going to do for 15 hours? Play guitar through the radio. Why not?
Playing guitar through the car stereo. I mean, I imagine like an old Craig stereo with Spark-O-Matic 6x9s in the back. That's got to sound awesome.
But way back in the day when I was a teenager, like I had a friend who was trying to peer pressure me into running my guitar amp into a subwoofer. And there's someone out there with a car stereo with a subwoofer. Like they're going to go try that now. They're going to go try running their guitar through that.
Hey, might as well try. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
What can it hurt?
JC says, I have a Bluetooth adapter I play my guitar in my trunk. So yeah, he's playing through his trunk. Sounds like if you play certain ways that people think you have a guitarist locked in your trunk and you get the wrong kind of attention. Alan Aviation asks, what do you think about the new Harmony guitars and which one would you pick? I've got one hanging behind me. Let's see if I can get it on camera. There it is. I've got the Harmony Silhouette. I love it. I think the harmonies are fantastic. And I see people commenting online, oh man, harmonies are supposed to be, beginners guitars. Like they're supposed to be cheap junk from the 60s or whatever. No, the new ones are fantastic. They're made, I can't remember the brand. They're made by Heritage. They're made in the USA by Heritage.
Really?
They've got nitro finishes on them. They've got excellent pickups. The necks feel amazing. They feel like $2,000 guitars, but they sell them for, I think, $12.99, and they come with a mono gig bag. I mean, like, they're fantastic. I really like the Silhouette because I like offset style things, and I also like the mini buckers in it. But I've got too many guitars. I can't sit here and be like, I want another guitar. I need to get another guitar. There's no reason for me to do it. But I'd really love to have one of the Comets. They have a semi-hollow that's really small bodied, and I really love the feel of those. Like I've tried them at NAMM. I tried them when I was at JHS because JHS had one of them, and I really connect with those guitars. But yeah, I think the new Harmonies are. I think people are sleeping on them. Did Harmony just release a Korean-made guitar too? Man, I'm gonna have to look that up. What model is it?
I need to look at this.
Harmony. I'm going to search for it. Harmony guitars. I'm out of the loop. I'm gonna have to go to their site. Hopefully, they'll have information on their site. I'm not seeing anything new on here.
I've got a project of one that was my first guitar, and that was in like 83 or 84. So I've been buying the parts to rebuild it. It's an old Harmony, but what you're telling me sounds like the new ones are amazing.
Yeah, they're really great. The only one on here that I haven't seen before is they have a reissue of the H72. So it's a jazz box that looks like it's pretty fancy. It's got gold foils and it has, the wood jazz bridge on it.
Oh, wow.
It actually looks pretty nice. I don't know if it's import. I'll have to look around and see if I can figure out what he's talking about. He says it's really cool and it's only $700. What is it? Did he say? What is the model? That's the one. That reissue is the model. That's only $700. It looks too nice for $700. Okay, I need to pull this up on the browser here. We can look at this. Guitars. I should bring in the screen here so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Share screen. Here we go. Here we go. We are on the Harmony site. It is playing a video thing. Go to our guitars. Where is it? Where are you? Down here at the bottom. Reissue series.
Oh, that's nice.
It's doing like the fully funky Harmony gold foil sort of thing.
All right.
It's got a mustache gold foil. Everyone here can appreciate a mustache. Says it's a faithful reproduction. Like, does that mean it's going to play like an original, or is it going to play like a modern guitar? Is my question. But it looks really sharp. I can't believe that's going to be $700. Even if it's Korean, that's cheap for a Korean guitar. A lot of Korean guitars are in the low thousands these days. Interesting. Well, yeah, I'll have to look into that.
To see how that plays.
Yeah, seriously. I wonder if they'll be at NAMM this year. Maybe if it's available, maybe I can get Sweetwater to send me one or something like that. Because like I said earlier, I need another guitar, right?
Well, I thought I saw a few racks that might have been a little open, and now the way you're doing that new hanging,
yeah,
you might have some room here and there.
I've got 2 open spots on the wall over there, but I've got 2 guitars on the floor on floor stands here, so I'm technically pretty close to full out.
I think there's one that I'm going to remember to take off your hands just a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, that was in the case. I'm going to let Robert borrow the new Teleacoustasonic.
I've got the Jazzmaster already in the living room and been playing with that a little bit. But remember, I was telling you about trying to find pickups for the Silvertone.
Yeah.
1478, and I got those kind of like a gold foil replacement surface mount from the same Eastwood guitars. So I got a whole set of those. Yep. Cool. So I got both bridge and neck. So I'm ready for it. And I like these interesting connectors that they have.
They have the quick connects on
the quick connects. Yeah. Now I just got to find the hookup portion for the pots and stuff like that, so I can hook them up directly. Then.
Yeah,
that's my next project.
I'm interested to see how those mount in there, how they look.
I think they're going to do really good because I mean those other ones were surface mounts as well, and I wanted them up a little bit higher anyway, because the original ones looked like it had a pretty good sized gap between string and pickup, and these look like a little taller. And if not, I could always make a spacer, to bring it up a little bit closer.
Well,
I have that technology.
What would it? The technology to apply materials in various thicknesses. I muted you for a minute, JD, because you were making a lot of noise over there doing whatever you were doing. So I just unmuted you. There you go.
No big deal. I was just letting you know that I need to jump off here shortly.
Oh, sure. Whatever.
Thanks for letting.
Well, I'm glad you came on board.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thanks for joining us. If anyone else wants to join, I'll dump the link in the chat again. If you don't want to join, you don't have to. Oh yeah. He did a little private chat to tell us he was leaving too. Yeah, I'm excited to see how those look in there. The replacement pickups. I've got that Harmony guitar that I got a while back. I've been thinking about like monkeying with the pickups a little bit. I don't know if I want to swap them out or if I want to like try to adjust them or something like that. Maybe like redo the wiring on the guitar. It's kind of muddy and murky sometimes, by itself it sounds great, but then once I compare it to other guitars, I'm like, oh man, this is a little darker than I'd prefer to have on this guitar. It's such a fun player. Like it's a really fun guitar to play. Mm-hmm. But the sound hasn't been the most impressive thing to me. Zombie asks, a Fortistrat return. I need to do the next Fortistrat. I've been so busy the past couple of months thanks to all the travel that I did, and just there was a pile of stuff that I had to work on here. So yeah, I rested on the Xavier. I haven't used it in a long time. I need to order the next Fortistrat. So if anyone has any suggestions, feel free to comment it. I should probably do a poll somewhere and figure out what I should pick for the next Fortistrat to see if it can dethrone the Xavier. The Yamaha Pacifica is a popular suggestion. I've been a little weird about that because they're usually, they usually have humbuckers in them. And I don't know if I want to keep it all single coils. But maybe it's fine to, compare a humbucker guitar to a single coil if they have a general Strat shape. And, it's more about comparing the qualities of each instrument instead of, comparing the exact hardware. But then I did choose the Xavier over the URT because the Xavier was closer to a pure Strat concept, Well,
you already did one for the Groat, right? The Groat Strat.
I don't think I did the Groat Strat, so maybe I should do that.
They've got a lot of different colors and everything like that. And if it had anything to do with the typical Groat semi-hollow that we both had, I still love mine after I got the tuner swept out and switched out the nut. And I did the same thing like a spacer on that P9, need to bring it up closer. Mm-hmm. And that those flat strings or the flat wound strings on it, man, I love it. It's great playing. Yes. Yeah.
And I had the Groat, like it was a 335 style. Mm-hmm. I got that in like a couple of years ago when I was comparing all the cheap 335s I could find. And I thought it was a totally fine guitar. It is, totally appropriate for that price point. My experience so far is that Groat makes good stuff. So yeah, maybe I'll look for a Groat Strat.
And I think, but there's also Sawtooth. Do they make about that same price range? About that same price range too.
People are asking Bullet Strat. Should I do a Bullet Strat? I feel like that's kind of like low hanging fruit in a certain way.
It's in the right price range.
It is. I probably should do a Fender brand guitar, like the cheapest Fender brand, to see how it compares to the Xavier. It's probably smart.
You're still looking at quality, not so much in that price range. And if their price range is in that same area, even if it is a little bit more, no name, hey, you never know. One of the other ones may stand out.
I definitely don't think a Bullet Strat or a Squier Strat in that price range would automatically win. I think that, the Xavier and the URT definitely have quality that can hold up to Squiers just fine. So that's not like a concern at all. There's something about it where it's just like, oh, it's so obvious that I shouldn't do it, but maybe I should do it because it's obvious.
The other ones may end up saying something like their quality has got to be better,
right?
Because they don't have the brand name as
Right.
Squier or Fender.
They're competing with their quality versus competing with their name. So that's a good point. That's a good point. Oh, okay. I'm catching up on the comments now. Yeah, that's a good point. I think you have to do the Squier because that really sets the bar. Yeah, I probably should have started with a Squier. That would have been the smart thing to do. Well, I got the and then that's what set it off, you know?
They sent you the and then that's what started the whole...
No, I think I bought the
Did you?
I think I bought that one.
Did any of them send, or did you buy them all?
I bought them all. Yeah, I bought both the Affordistrats so far. That's been the thing. Like D'Addario has been sponsoring it, so they gave me a lump sum sponsorship to cover the costs of buying the guitars and shipping them. So that has been nice, but I fell behind on it. I feel terrible. They've been teasing those expandable pedal boards, and they just sent them to me. D'Addario did. They're not launching them officially till January, so I don't know when I'm actually going to film it. Let me grab one of them real quick. They sent me the smaller one and the bigger one because I requested that. But they're an expandable pedal board concept. I'm doing an unboxing.
Oh, I see.
I can't open it yet, but they have them listed on all the major retailers, so I'm not like spoiling anything right now. I'm not leaking anything. Just everything is in pre-order status right now, like on Sweetwater and everywhere else. But they look like a cool concept. I've covered an expandable pedal board before, but the mechanism on it was a little bit troublesome because you had to bust out like a screwdriver, where this has a little push tab and it slides back and forth. I'm interested to find out how easy it is to mount power to it. You know, like is it going to be a problem mounting a power supply underneath and all the cables and everything getting jostled up when I extend or contract it?
I figure in something like that, you'd almost, once you get it mounted, you know, especially if it expands from one side to like an accordion style type thing, that where you have your power board or your power supply was set, you'd have to have different lengths of cables, you know, to go down toward the end, you know, and maybe if they were, you know, kept in some kind of wire and harness and velcroed to it at a certain length, at least it wouldn't keep them from flopping around all over the place.
Yeah, I think if you're doing expanding it, then you just have to have extra play on your cables for that to happen. What I'm wondering is, you can see, like this part slides out. Is it encapsulated underneath? So can I mount a power supply underneath this part and have this part still slide without the power supply being interrupted?
It's almost like it would have to be on the smallest end, because if it's a little smaller at the one end, a little bit bigger, and then the largest size, because it all fits into the underneath of that, it's got to fit into the front, the smaller, or the. I mean, those are
all questions that I'll.
You bring up an address.
I'm supposed to do them as an unboxing, which is what I told them would be the best way to do it. So it'll be kind of a first impression sort of thing. I'll build a couple boards and, you know, kind of troubleshoot what it's like to do that when I do the video. But like I said, they're launching it in January, so that's like a month away. I want to open it right now. I asked
You're like a kid on Christmas.
I know. I asked him today, like, hey, when is the actual launch date? Because I kind of want to film it and, you know, have some fun opening it and checking it out. And I don't want to wait a month to do that. All right, what are people talking about?
Oh, let's see here.
In the top, in the chat. Tender Stems asks, how much are those pedal boards? I don't actually know. Go check them out. I know that they're on Sweetwater. I don't know what other retailers they're on right now. But I saw Sweetwater had them listed. They were just in pre-order status. People are talking about some sort of quality control out of a shop for some reason. Andertons, maybe? I don't know what people are talking about. People, ask me questions in the comments. Or ask Robert. Robert can answer questions too.
I'm looking at it as well, just in case.
I want to say I'm launching a video tomorrow that made me think of one of your guitars. You have that Dan Electro. Is it the Dead on 68? The one that has the weird trim?
67.
The
The
Dead on
one
67.
that has, yeah.
So I edited a video yesterday where I play one of the. Oh, I'll wait till he puts his headphones back on. I edited a video yesterday that I'm going to publish tomorrow morning where I got to play one of the original ones that whole shape is based on, and it was a blast.
Yeah.
But
This one here,
it had like 15 switches on it and stuff, and it didn't have
15 switches.
Yeah, no,
Well,
it was lousy with switches.
This is an aftermarket,
Right.
tailpiece. Is just the trim was just so. It was so wonky. I tried to reconstruct, re-engineer, and it just would not stay in place. I mean, I tried using a better button top to where it would be able to pivot better, hold down. It just wouldn't work very well.
I've never seen anyone defend that trim system on those guitars. And it's like, why would they completely reinvent the wheel on one model of guitar? So you converted it to hardtail?
Yeah, converted it to hardtail. I mean,
That's
it still
fun.
has the opening in the back, but yeah, no, I converted that. It plays a lot better. The pick guard is very interesting because it is it's a two-piece, and this back part piece, people think it's metal. It's not. It's plastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's plastic, and they had like an aluminum paint over on top of it, and it actually was, anytime it scratched, it showed the black underneath it. So what I did is I went and got, believe it or not, that is aluminum shelving paper.
Wow.
To cover that portion, and its shelving paper sticks very well to it.
I had no idea that it was plastic.
Yep. And then the upper portion here is like a two-piece. The underneath is like an applique, and it's kind of like a that old style 3D type swirl.
Yeah.
And then I redid a new clear pick guard on it. I actually went or tried twice, because I tried once, just didn't have the right material, and of course doing the small holes, it broke. And if you don't have a good plastic or a drill bit made for plastic, you're running the risk of putting too much pressure and blowing holes out on the side of it. So I recut it, and then I got pinstriping underneath and went from underneath and did the pinstriping so it wasn't actually black paint. And I stuck with the original pickups in this, but I did replace all of the pots because they were really scratchy, and I could just tell that they were real gritty. So I just went ahead and changed all those, changed out the switch just to make sure I wouldn't have to do that. Redid the wiring for the cloth back wiring instead of all the plastic stuff that they had back then. But I really like it. It's a very lightweight. I like the neck. And it's just, of course, I've changed the tuners on them as well. I really am big on the hip shot tuners. Locking tuners.
I've always loved the look of that model and the feel of it. Like, it's a really cool guitar. But yeah, those original trims that they put on them were like, what were
they're terrible.
They're terrible. It's not just like, it doesn't really return to tune. Like, the way the arm connected with that tiny little screw, like, it made no sense. The whole thing made no sense.
And then of course you used a conical spring for your retention back, and that had a bolt that goes all the way through, a conical spring, a keeper, and then it floated on just two screws that went right into the body. I mean, I replaced it with like a adjustable trim with the posts and everything like that. So, and then I used the bolts so that everything was so much solider. I went ahead and put an extra ground wire on both sides, because usually what they'll do is they'll run a ground wire through your post, and and it's supposed to make contact through the posting, and then the wood, of course, keeps it in place. But I put always maybe 1 to 2 extra grounds, as I just my house is terrible with grounding situations. I want to have every little bit. If I got 3 special grounds on there, no problem. I think I'm covered.
Sure.
But yeah, I know on those hip shot tuners, I really like those, and I'm always on every type of the Strat style. I'm always getting the staggered, because just like you were talking about, the stability on some of them with the tuning. You know, you've got contact through the bridge, you got contact through the tram, you got contact up at the nut, you got contact up by the string trees. Now, if I can take one of those sections out, put it staggered, and still get the angle down behind the nut, well, that's just one less, contact point that I have to worry about.
Right.
And then, of course, most of the bridges are all changed to roller bridges. But that's another freeing up movement in that. So whatever I can do, but I have the same issues that you have on some guitars as well. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to work through those to try to, and doing the Tusk, or, there's a cut that I've always wanted to try, especially on something like these Dan Electros, the 0 fret.
Yeah.
Because
a 0 fret built into a nut. Like those look cool to me. I have a couple guitars that have a 0 fret just as part of the design, like the Hallmark that I have over here as a 0 fret. And I always really like that. Like it gives you the same exact tone of the rest of your strings when they're fretted. Like it makes, like 0 fret should be the standard when you think about it that way.
Wait, you would think so, because if you have a 0 fret, and this is what, after the research I've been doing, no matter what size strings you use, you're always at the right height.
Right.
And the nut is cut a little bit wider in most cases so that you can run. If you want to run the 11s for like the short scale, what we usually do and stuff, but then some people, hey, maybe they want to go to 10s, or even they want to go to 9s.
Yeah.
You can still run them. And no matter what, your string height right there at the nut for your first few, it's going to be the same height that you normally use.
Exactly.
So it's very versatile.
Is just a retainer. Like it's just keeping them in place.
Yeah. Keeping your spacing right.
Todd Evans says, though, that I've tried the 0 fret on about 3 guitars, and I think I just gave up on 2 of them. All right. Not everyone likes them. That's fine.
I'm wondering why he just gave up on 2 of them. I don't know if it was the height, or if it was too difficult to install, or if they changed.
That they were finicky to fit. Okay, so trying to get them to fit was the trouble. Thoughts on new negative frets? Is that a thing? Negative frets.
Thought on new negative frets.
Look up negative.
Sorry, 0 frets. Okay.
Oh, fretboard extension. How to do it? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, I think he's referencing this joke meme. Fretted head sucks.
Okay.
Oh, Chibson. Oh my gosh, some of these are so good. The F hole remover. It's just tackle. I love that these exist. I love Chibson. They're so great. Oh my gosh. Taco shell pick guards.
Oh.
It's, as a graphic designer, I appreciate Chibson so much that they put in the work to make these memes. This is ridiculous.
So how was your Thanksgiving? Did you have a good one?
Yeah, it was good. We did the normal family thing. My wife and I have both her families in town, and her side of the family, I think it was going to be too inconvenient for us with the kids and everything. A more grown up kind of Thanksgiving over there. So we ended up doing Thanksgiving with my side of the family, and it was my siblings and then my parents, and we had a great time. We always end up, we all have like a similar sense of humor. We all just end up making poop jokes by the end of Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving? How things go?
It was good. My kids and grandson came up from Yuma, and my stepmom from Riverside came down, and My mom was already here, so we had a really nice small thing. My kids brought me a brand new smoker. So I've never had one before, and they're always bragging about it. And I remember back in July when they came out for 4th of July that I think somebody was talking, they were saying, Dad, you need to get a smoker and you need to get a smoker and stuff like that. And I thought, that's something that maybe, the kids can get together and, and get their old man for his birthday or something. I'm like, guess what showed up?
What kind is it? Is it
it's a Pit Boss.
Okay.
And yeah, so my supervisor that I work with, he actually does barbecue competitions. So he's told me where to go and get the pellets for the best price and stuff like that. And I guess my wife was really excited because she said this is the last Thanksgiving that she's got to cook a turkey in the oven. She says you got a year to learn, dude.
Smoked turkey is good, but like I've done it before, but I've never been like, man, I kind of want this for Thanksgiving. Like there's something about like a roasted turkey that is the Thanksgiving flavor, but every time I've smoked a turkey, I usually do it if I have like a party over here. I pull the turkey out of the smoker, I put it on the table, and people just walk up to it and start picking at it like that.
Oh,
people walk up with their own knife and fork and cut little bits off. And I never have to carve it, but I'm always left with just a skeleton at the end. Like people really enjoy the smoked turkey.
Okay. I that might be a good idea because that's one thing I always hated. I hated carving a turkey.
I like carving the white meat. I have no idea what to do with the dark meat. And I'm always in charge of carving it for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay, here's all the white meat. I've cut it into these perfect, beautiful slices. Here we go into the dark meat. Wow, it's like a massacre down here. Like this, it's like a stump grinder accident. Like what is happening down here? Everything's just like falling apart. There's all these tendons and connective tissues going on. And it's like, I don't even like dark meat. I don't know what to do with this.
If you can, like we do, is we, of course, break the knuckle at the legs and the wings and stuff like that, and most of it is just taking a fork and shredding it after that, just getting what you can off of that.
Because you really can't slice it. You can't slice dark meat.
No,
you're shredding it off the bone. Yeah.
And I love dark meat. I think it's great for sandwiches and everything like that too. So,
well, we usually end up making like a turkey stew, turkey soup afterwards, and I think it's a good turkey soup meat. But I like the white meat. I like a little small pile of white meat with a bunch of gravy on it, and mix it up with the mashed potatoes and stuffing and all that. We're actually doing our Friendsgiving tomorrow. We do a small Friendsgiving with a couple local friends every year, and Steve's going to be here and a few other friends. So I'm cooking a turkey again tomorrow, and we're doing a ham. And I have a second turkey that I bought and stuck it in the freezer.
You must have a deep freeze somewhere else out in the garage.
No,
right?
I don't. I'm just like pretty good with managing my freezer space, but I got a second smaller turkey just to save for smoking for a few months down the road, because they're so cheap around Thanksgiving. They're like 50 cents a pound or whatever. Yeah, exactly. 60 cycle yum. Yeah,
it's been a while since you showed anything on the barbecue on that. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to do some more 60 cycle yum soon. I have a few things planned. What was I going to say? Oh, it's something I really like to do with turkeys when I do Friendsgiving, and if my family will allow me to do it for regular Thanksgiving. So I like to harvest the wings off the bird before I roast it, and I freeze them. I save them for later because almost never do I see anyone actually eat the wings at Thanksgiving. They're always still there at the end of the night. Like no one ate the wings. Why did they cook them? What I like to do is I take the wings, I refreeze them, and months down the road when I'm in the mood, I make buffalo turkey wings with them. And it's really different, but really, really good. Like, the flat section is like this big, like they're big chunks of meat. They fry up really, really crispy, and you throw the buffalo sauce on them. And they have a slightly more like, I want to say like grown up kind of gamey sort of thing going on versus a chicken wing that's just like, sweet meat. And you really don't taste much of the meat. You taste the buffalo sauce. Like there's something about it that I really enjoy is a buffalo turkey wing. Like if I ever opened a restaurant, like they would be on the menu. I'd have to source, 50-pound boxes of turkey wings somehow.
All right, your video's getting foggy.
Is it again?
Yes.
Oh man.
You need a better interconnection connection, dude.
I've got,
that 300 megabytes is just not enough.
I've got good download speed, but the upload speed is the problem. So it always looks clear.
What is it? That fiber optic is the only one that you get the same upload as you do download.
Yeah. I hate dealing with the cable company so much. I never feel motivated to do anything about it.
Pretty soon, it won't be cable companies, from what I understand. It's all going to be internet companies.
Oh, totally.
And everything is going to be streamed through that. There won't be any channel packages. You'll be able to do your a la carte type thing. I want this channel, I want this channel, and so forth. It's still going to end up costing us because you get $10 for each one.
Well,
rack up.
Here's the thing. I've got Netflix, which no, Netflix is paid for by my cell phone carrier. They have a deal with them.
But you still have the premium one, right? In order to get the multi devices.
No, because we only have one TV here. We don't need multi devices.
I use multi devices because my mom does it. My
Gotcha.
stepmom does it, so forth. But yeah, it allows us like 8 or 9 devices or something like that.
So I don't pay for Netflix because it's through my cell phone carrier. I pay for Hulu. We've got Disney Plus. My sister pays for that, and we share an account. And then what else? We've got Amazon Prime, but I pay for that mostly for shipping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally paying maybe $30 a month for my streaming services.
Do you have the Paramount Plus by any chance? Because
I don't.
Okay,
I've
been thinking about that because of the Star Trek new series and stuff like that are on there. And
yeah, I've been thinking about getting it just to catch up on all that instead of stealing it or whatever. But I really think I am paying dramatically less than I used to when I was paying for cable. And honestly, even if it was more, the user experience is so much better than cable was. Last time I had a cable box, like it used to take forever to sit there and scroll. Like you would press the button and then wait for it to like catch up. And okay, next line.
I get that from time to time, but I usually end up having to pull the plug on the box and reset it. And just like any computer, everything starts running slow or something like that. You got to reboot.
It took forever to actually find something, and it was all live stuff. So it's like, oh, here's a show I might want to watch. It's already been running for 10 minutes. And then you're sitting there like, is there something else I want to watch? And then you're just stuck in infinite browsing trying to find something. I've never had a night sitting in front of the TV with the various streaming services and not been able to find something to watch. Like I've never been like, man, I really miss cable. I haven't missed it once in, I think, 5 or 6 years of cutting the cord.
Mm-hmm. I know Michael Krause is saying that he says that the Netflix, Amazon Prime, Paramount, Disney Plus, this is not cheaper than CATV anymore.
Well, yeah, if you're paying for them all out of pocket, but another thing to consider is that you can cancel them all and then restart them all whenever you want. To do that with cable, you got to get on the phone and you got to work your way up through like 3 different levels of phone people to cancel your account. Like if I said, you know what, there's nothing on Netflix, I'm going to cancel it for a couple months. All I have to go and do is get on the website and stop my account. And if I want it back, then I restart my account. It would literally probably take me 2 minutes to turn off Netflix and not get charged for it for indefinitely. Where if I wanted to turn off cable, what can you do? Like they're gonna make you spend half a day trying to figure that out.
and to get in any package, you have to have internet, television, and phone. I don't use my house. Well, I take it. I have the house phone. I don't use it, but I use it sometimes when I have to fax something.
Yeah. Oh, Matthew Welch has a good point. 11 news stations lying to me. Like, I know so many people who are absolutely losing their minds because they're addicted to cable news. From both sides
Mm-hmm.
of the spectrum of the political spectrum. I'll say that from both sides. Like people are losing their mind. Like I don't want cable news in my house. Like, there's other ways to get the news these days. Like you don't need to sit there and suckle on the teat of, Viacom or whatever.
I personally, I just don't know what to believe anymore.
That's the problem. Like all the news stuff is so commercialized. It's all so divorced from any reality and any sort of actual news reporting. Like you really have to go just look at articles and then be incredibly critical and be like, who wrote this? Why are they reporting this? Can I trust this information? And it's like, I made a post on Facebook the other day. And it's like, how many times a day do you feel like you are getting scammed? Like someone is trying to scam you over email or phone calls. And everyone that commented was like, oh yeah, 5, 6, 15 times a day. Like it never stops. And all this media is part of that too. Like all the news media is just like, this all feels like a scam. Like it feels like you're all trying to like social engineer something. And like, I think there's got to be something done eventually. Like it's way over the top. Like it's making people mentally and emotionally unhealthy at this point.
There's constructive things about the internet, and there's
for sure,
destructive things as well. And right now, it just seems like there's a lot more destructive. Good things is like what we're doing right now. This is great. Everybody that's on here that's chatting and everything like that. I love these people. Every once in a while, you get one of them weird ones that we have to talk about immensely. Leave special comments too, but this is the type of stuff that this is what the internet should be.
Right.
Being able to communicate, and then also even this way communicate with even loved ones clear across the country. I mean, the last time, I'm ex-military, I'm retired military and stuff like that. When I was downrange and stuff like that, having something like this to talk back home,
oh man,
fantastic. A phone call is great, but when you can see somebody or you can see your kids or something like that, I mean, you can't replace that. And that's what I love for that.
When I go on these trips that I do, like the fact that I can call home and do a FaceTime with my kids, it's like, it's incredible. When I was a kid, like if my dad went on like a business trip or a hunting trip or something like that, he'd be like, well, we might get a phone call once a day, but then it's like it's just a phone call. Being able to see my kids' faces and they can see my face and see that I'm there is incredible. Like we live in an incredible time as far as technology goes, but I feel like as a species, we're not ready for the amount of information made available to ourselves.
Yep.
We're not ready for the grifters that are exploiting the availability of information. It's really wild.
Well, Julian wanted to find out. He logged on to, for the drip. So maybe we should give him something for the drip.
I found out recently that there's a local guy who's making a surf reverb pedal, and he's a guy who was in a local surf band that I'm well aware of. And so he's not prepared yet to do a bunch of sales. Like he's doing a couple sales here and there. But we're talking about having him come over here to show off his pedal in the new year sometime when he's caught up on his existing orders. But it's really fun. He's got this pedal that and he's got the built-in kick it and it crashes sort of thing, even though it's full digital. You got yourself a Big Sky.
Yep. I had when Sweetwater had their Blackwater, and I just went onto your link and I got this.
There you go.
And I see I got a couple of the TC clip-on tuners real quick.
Yeah,
they were $9.95. I mean, how can you beat that? So I got a couple of those, and then I have really loved the that's the New Neighbor.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced New Neighbor.
New Neighbor, you're right. And this was the latest one. I've already got the wet and the shimmer because I've been experimenting with the ambient guitar as well.
Fun.
So, but with that wet, or with the Big Sky, and you can set some pretty good drip stuff with that too.
Yeah.
But I have the Oceans 11 and Oceans 12, so a little bit of everything out there.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever run across them, but there's a really good YouTube channel for ambient stuff called Chords of Orion.
Yes.
That guy's so chill. Like that guy is the Bob Ross of demo channels. Like, I love that dude.
There is another one. Gosh, what is Antonio? Oh gosh, what is his?
I've got a thing I can grab.
Antonio Michaud, Michaud. Now, okay, I got a couple things from him and stuff like that, a couple of little cool additional videos for Nick links, but of course he's got all these ambient guitar learning things and everything like that, which yeah, it could be really cool, but I'm not a guitar player good enough to understand probably at this point what he's talking about. Maybe later on down the line. I mean, it's songwriting assistance and how to, try to put things together, which, okay, that's where my improvisation is not great. The circle of fifths and everything, like still trying to learn all this stuff. And like I said, until I can get into some classes, I need that. This is all I got for right now, because everybody right now trying to do things online. I need actually people to help me, show me with finger placement, because I've had surgery on a hand back when I was 15 and I lost a lot of the muscle strength in the fingers. So I have to do things a little bit different. I even have to hold the guitar a little different in order to get some to the higher frets and do the chords. And so, okay, I got to put it on the other knee, like playing a little bit classical style, but just so I can get up there. But if they can see what my problems are, then they can help me, okay, place it here, place it there. Let's see what your hand can do here without hurting. That's the thing. I can do a little bit for a while, but I can't do a lot for a long period of time. But this is something I've always wanted to do. And being in the military and kept traveling and moving and everything like that, very difficult to do. But now that I'm, like I said, I'm in my spot in my life to where, 60 years old, sit back on the back porch, have my old duels, and just, as the sun sets, just play a little guitar here and there.
I've got a question here from Paul. And he asked, "Hey Ryan, ever mess with the Takalis White Whale? That's the big red one, right? It's a spring reverb." That was sent to me, and I did a video on it. And I think it's a good reverb. It's actually one of the favorite reverbs of Jay Leonard J, if I understand correctly. Like, he's a big fan of that. It was good. It was a good reverb. It doesn't scratch the drippy, surfy sort of itch for me, but it does a really nice kind of in-amp reverb sort of sound. And it's got real springs in it and stuff, so that's nice. I've got something. I'm trying to work up the nerve to get around to doing my video of this. I've had an Eventide H9 sitting in a box here that I actually requested from Sweetwater. I know that they're like a deep dive to actually figure out how to use them, so I've been putting it off for too long. I'm hoping that next week I'll actually put aside the time and sit down and film this thing and try to figure it out. I was watching some videos yesterday. I was like, what am I getting myself into? It does everything. How am I going to show off something that does everything? So that's something I've been working up to. If anyone has any suggestions for things I should do with the H9, leave it in the comments and I'll try to take notes of that.
How long has been your how many minutes has been your most longest demo video?
Oh man. I'm sure there's one that went probably like 10 or 15 minutes past an hour, but usually, like, if I'm looking at a video that's over an hour, I'm like, what the heck am I even doing? Like, an hour is a long time. But then, if I'm doing like a big board unboxing and I've got 8 pedals, like, it's really not that long. But sometimes I just find that, like, my pacing and me covering everything I want to cover with a product ends up being somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour. But past that, I just feel like, what am I even doing? Why am I making a movie?
Well, I remember the Universal audio for the Golden and the Starlight. That was a little bit, I mean, that was a lot of what those pedals can do.
too. Yeah.
And that's not even including the Astra. And when I went down to Pitbull Audio, they had them there.
Yeah.
And I picked up all three of them. I picked up the Astra, the Golden, and the Starlight. And
they're excellent pedals.
they are awesome pedals, but they do so much.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much dial in it. I mean, they're expensive, but
it's one of those things too where like I always feel bad using it because I always use the delay just on the tape setting. Like I just have it my one setting on it, and like this can do so much, and I'm just stuck on one setting. But I love the setting. Like I absolutely love the delay, and the spring reverb is excellent too. We've got Daniel Dodd waiting to join. He's got some metal shelves. Hey, Daniel.
What's up, boys?
Hey, Daniel.
How's it going?
Very good. So, how y'all been?
We're doing great.
I take it you're down in Texas area, huh?
Oh, no, I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, well, he's just a Cowboy fan. I just figured Matt be down in Texas.
Are you in traction or something? What's going on?
No. I used to be.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm out of it.
I don't mean to pry if you don't want to talk about it, but I can see that.
No, it's good.
You got
I'll
a
talk
thing
about
hanging
it.
over you.
I don't care. I'm that type of person. I really don't care. I gotta take this off. Oh,
So you said you're down from North Carolina?
yeah.
How are
I'm
things
in-
down there?
Packed. Traffic everywhere.
Oh yeah.
It's bad, dude.
Is it?
Bro, I went home from work yesterday. It took me about 2 hours.
2
I live 30
hours.
minutes away. I live 30 minutes away from my house.
That's
Jeez.
pretty bad. I mean, I've been stuck in traffic down here in San Diego like that before.
Yeah, it's
Going from
terrible.
just Encinitas back here to Chula Vista, and I've gotten the same way.
Encinitas can do that for sure.
Yeah, it's terrible.
When I worked up at Miramar, then Chula Vista, that used to take a little while if I had to drive. But I had a motorcycle back then, but don't have a motorcycle now anymore. My family kind of put the kibosh on that.
Back when I had to do long commutes, when I had an office job, I would fantasize about getting myself a mini Winnie, like a mini Winnebago, and just living in the company's parking lot. Like, why am I driving home every day just to sleep and then get back in the car and drive another hour to get back here? Like, I'm throwing time away. I could be sitting comfortably in a miniature Winnebago watching TV or something. I just need a water hookup so I can shower or something, you know.
I know a few people that actually travel about an hour and a half to come down here to work every day. And what they do is they'll leave at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, come down, sit in the parking lot, sleep until they end up having to go to work. And then they'll sit in the parking lot until 7 or 8 o'clock at night after the traffic has died down. Then they leave. I mean, that's ridiculous.
See, I would do that, but I'm too hungry when I get off work.
There's a thing called a lunchbox that can take care of something like that.
I forget it all the time. I forget it all the time, bro.
Also, like when you have a long commute and you already have to wake up early, like the last thing you're thinking about when you wake up early is like, oh man, I'm going to make myself a lunch. I'm going to pack a lunch. You're like, I can't believe I'm awake. I'm heading out the door. Let's get this over with. You know, no, I do not miss commuting. Like that was never fun. Let's see if we got some comments here.
That's what I've been looking for as well.
Oh, I wanted to talk. I wanted to mention about those UA pedals. I found out about those when I was visiting JHS back in January, and they hadn't been announced yet. But Josh knew about them because he's friends with those guys, and he just kept going like, "Man, these might be game changers. These might be like market disruptors, sort of thing." Like, so he had like big thoughts about them before they were announced. We haven't seen that happen quite yet, but I think the people who have spent time with those UA pedals are are blown away by them. Like I haven't met anyone who's used them that isn't like, wow, these are incredible. They're incredibly expensive, but like if they fit like the very specific niche that you like, like they're undeniably really good pedals, especially the reverb and the delay.
I mean, for 3 pedals, could do so much compared to if a pedal board that you had 12 pedals on.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
I
interesting.
don't even think in terms of like how much they can do. They can do a lot. I think in terms of like, I've never heard a tape emulation that actually sounds like a reel-to-reel tape machine, you know, like an actual tape echo in the way that pedal captures all the hiccups and just the tonality and the warmth and the hiss and the static and stuff like that. Like it, like you could trick me with it and make me think that I was playing with a real tape delay. The reverb is great too. It does a great drip. It's got a lot of really cool sounds locked up in it, but there's something about that tape echo that, man, I can't get over it. And like if you're going to go buy a tape echo, it's going to cost you way more than one of those pedals. If you're going to buy a true spring unit, it's going to cost you way more than one of those pedals. So
every once in a while, I keep my eye out for the Surfy Bear just to see if I can. Just they're so big, you know. They take up a lot of, even the miniature versions. They still take up a lot of room on a board.
Like this is the compact.
Yeah,
that's the small. the full size one is really extra big too. All right, I think I need to go here pretty soon. It's time to go pick up my kid from school.
Same here. They're here.
I wish I could say that I had the self-discipline to guarantee like doing a live hangout every Friday, but I know that's not going to happen.
Sometimes we just can't do it.
Yeah, so everyone that's watching, tune in tomorrow. I'm going to launch a video from Carter's when I was in Nashville again. It's got Philip Carter in it. He plays guitar. It also has Marty Friedman show up.
Ooh.
Randomly. He was at Carter's, and so we pull him into a video, and he plays a 1981 Squire Bullet, which was kind of the belle of the ball in that video. We all kind of fell in love with it. So have a look out for that tomorrow, guys. And other than that, see you at the podcast Monday morning. All right, bye, everyone.
All right, take care, everybody.